Our second album, Around the World and Back, is 10 years old this year. And everyone's keeps asking, where's the tour? Where's the anniversary tour? We're going to do it. It's just going to be at the top of next year. You're getting the exclusive, by the way.
Guys, we're breaking it out now.
I've got more secrets than you'll ever know.
We're also out of contract with our record label. The more money you make, the more money you're going to watch go away.
Would State Champs ever do a live album?
I've thought about that.
Who are your top 3 performing bands that you've seen live that just blew you away?
I'm going to put A Day to Remember in this as far as like top 3 because Sean, the violin player of Yellow Card.
How come Story So Far never does interviews? Is that just a personal thing? 15 years of State Champs. How do you figure out how to keep reinventing this sound and keep the energetic shows so alive to make people wanting to keep coming back?
It's a great question, man. I think 15 years is something that I never thought we'd get to as a band, number one. The live show, I think, is still the most important thing that I think about every time. What's next? How are we going to keep the integrity and whatnot? But I don't think it's ever been a question of like, how are we going to completely redefine ourselves as a band and our sound sonically or anything. I think we've established something and built a community around this certain thing that has worked for us. And yes, we're going to try new things and try to develop it and still be the best at it and better ourselves and set other goals. But it's not like we're trying to pull a 180 on anybody in any sense. You know, I think if anyone asks what's the difference between album 1 and album 5, well, they're all still pop punk, right? But there's a little bit of like maturity in some eras, but that's the easy way out of saying, yes, this is more mature. But I think collaboration has been a big part of it. How much like you have to be able to open up to other people hearing about what's going on with you, and also being able to be able to say, yes, I want to see that through, even though if it doesn't seem like something you want to hear right from the get-go.
Collaboration as in you got all the members
within
of the
each
band.
other as a band, or other people that are in the room with us, other songwriters that we work with, other producers that we write with. Usually we used to be like, we're our own band. We know what we want.
No producers, no outside.
At least when it comes to the writing, we're going to be like, here's our song. You make it sound good. Now we're okay to be like, what do you think about the lyrics of this? What do you think about the structure of this? Does this need to change? Blah, blah, blah.
Do you view the band as your baby?
100%. Yeah.
So how is it for you to let Mark Hoppus or John Feldman come into this writing room to where you've created this thing, but now you kind of do want that outside voice?
I think, especially with Mark Hoppus, for example, that was like respecting your elders, 100%. I'm not going to say no to Mark Hoppus, especially when we did do that. Like that was on our 3rd album, I think. So when Mark Hoppus comes in, he's like, I want to talk about lyrics. I'm like, okay, Mark, let's talk about lyrics. Maybe other people in the past would have been like, I'm scared. I don't want to. Like, I like my lyrics. Mark was like, what are you reading right now? Like, what books are you reading? And I was like, Mark, I don't read any books. I'm sorry. But now I'm open to be like, what are you reading? You know, like I would have been scared to ask that back then. Nowadays, I'm like, well, you tell me about what you're reading. I want to hear about your influence and what you're feeling right now. And
for you to go into a session with something like that, are you having outside ideas already going into it? Or are you just trying to figure out something from scratch?
It's always different, man. It's always different. There's no right or wrong way to start the song. Sometimes I'll come in with, say, I have this like full note in my phone that's just lyrics or starter ideas, and a lot of them just come from like things I like think of in the shower, while I'm driving, right before I go to bed. It happens all the time, right before I fall asleep, and I'm like, man, I got to remember to put that in my notes thing tomorrow.
It's a lyric, catchy hook,
just like one line, and I'm like, oh, that guy could base a whole song around that. So but then I'm like, if I don't take out my phone, if I don't roll over and open my phone and put it in my phone, it will be gone forever. So I need to, so that it's always right before I go to bed. I'll like roll over, like barely be awake still, and put that one line in my phone, and then I'll thank myself for it. Like a week later when I'm in the studio, I'm like, what was that one thing? Open up and it's there. I'm like, oh guys, I got this thing. Let's write a song about that. And like that's all it needs to start. I want to base a song around that one line.
You have your whole life to write your first album. So how have you evolved as a writer from the finer things up until now?
I think the vulnerability factor has been a huge thing. I think from album 1, I never wanted to talk about my feelings. I never wanted to talk about outside things going on with relationships, with friendships, with family, anything like that. I think,
how come you just...
I think I was so introverted, so held back, and I was never the guy that wanted to make it seem like I was down, or never seemed like I had anything mental going on, and wanted to, especially within my band. I would just kind of show it and be like, here's the lyrics, guys. And they would even be like, okay, cool, I hear some stuff in there, but I don't want to talk to him about it because I know he doesn't like to talk about it. Now, when we're writing songs and we're in the studio, I'm more available and emotionally available to the guys to be like, what do you really mean by that? And I used to be like, don't worry about it. That's just what it is.
Is that through a path of self-discovery?
I think so too. I think absolutely. I think just be, I've noticed myself that it's okay to not be okay, right? Sometimes it's okay to be like, yeah, I'm kind of going through it. Like, well, let's talk about it. Let's write a song about it. That's what like Ryan, Tyler, Evan, all three of my other bandmates they like to do that, and they've seen growth within myself by me being okay with doing that. And it's made for better songs. It really has.
Do you hear that in the songs that you're putting out now?
Totally, totally. Especially like on the new album, like the song called "Too Late to Say," for example. It's a song about saying that you're scared. It's a song about being like, hey, man, I'm growing up. I'm like, we're all adulting here, but we've been doing this band thing for like 15 years. So that's all we know. But then when you put it in a broader perspective, it's like, we're buying houses, we're starting families, we're having to fend for ourselves. We have to get health insurance. What the heck? How do you do that? I'm scared as hell. Let's write a song about it. Let's okay. And that's, I would have never done that when I was 19, 20, you know?
Do you think you've kept most of that core fan base from the beginning?
I think a lot of them, yeah, totally.
Is that rare for a band in your genre of music?
I think it's rare for a band to be a band for 15 years in our genre. So yeah, I think it's definitely a cool thing to keep that core fan base that we've had for so long. But it's kind of limited us to be like, well, are we just going to be that band that keeps our core fan base, that lets us play those same size venues for as long as possible and kind of hit this ceiling? It's been important to us to now set goals and be like, how do we grow this thing and make it bigger than what it already is? Because we could be very happy with that level that we've gotten to. And sure enough, it's great. But we've never seen it decline. And that's been very, very important to us. And now
I got chills from that because that's so rare.
I know, it's really tough, man. And I'm at risk of sounding like I'm ungrateful sometimes when it's like, well, I mean, we can't just like be happy with that, you know? When you get to that level, say you're headlining House of Blueses, you're headlining the 2,000 cap rooms in that area, there's not many bands that you can then support and be an opener for after that. And the bands that you can do that for, there's so much competition of every band in the world that wants to be on that opening slot.
For an arena tour.
Or an arena tour, amphitheater tour. So we take pride in our, networking and how we've like presented ourselves and grown ourselves as a band, that it makes other bands that are now friends of ours that we used to just want to be like and have influenced us, made us want to be a band in the first place, now take us on tour still with where we're at. Like we just got off tour with A Day to Remember and Yellow Card and did amphitheaters across the East Coast, and it was just incredible. It made us be like, this is how we continue to grow. I'm out there on stage at full sold out amphitheaters going, who's seeing state champs for the very first time right now? Just to check. And it's the whole place, man. It's the entire place. Sure, I see like some familiar faces out there in the pit, but that's how we keep this thing growing, and that's how we continue to push forward.
So for you as a frontman, how do you figure out how to get those people who are there seeing you now to come back next time you come to town?
You gotta work for it. You really gotta work for it. But I like that pressure of being like the guy that needs to win them over. So it's so easy when it's the state champs crowd at the House of Blues. I know they all know the words. They know the songs.
They're there for you.
I can put the mic down and I can just listen to the crowd singing, and that's wonderful. It feels amazing. But at the opening slots, I have to really I have to sing all the words. I can't give it to the crowd because it will be silent out there, and you'll feel bad.
And you'll feel bad.
But two, you have to engage. You have to be like, who's having a good time? You got to amp them up for the bands that they are there to see. You ready for a day to fucking remember? Or whatever, like stuff like that. Get them going. And then I always say at the end of the set during Secrets, because we were playing it last, when there's a break in when I'm singing, I go, if you've had a great fucking time with us today, who would come back and see us again next time we come back to so-and-so city? Yeah, the whole place goes nuts. And that's when I'm like, we got them. We did it, And then we go out and we meet fans afterwards. It's important to engage with the fan base. On this tour, we were going out into the crowd with 10 tickets, and we'd go out to the lawn, way up in the cheap seats, right? And we'd find people with State Champs merch or moms with kids, stuff like that. And we'd be like, hey, you guys want better seats? And we'd go out and meet people, take pictures. We'd give people upgraded seats. That's how you continue to grow and make sure that you left the stamp on the show. Wow. It's pretty cool. It's a good feeling.
So looking back on this Day to Remember Yellow Card tour, do you think it was successful for you guys wanted to accomplish?
100%. Yeah. That's one of those few scenarios where we can still build and we can like steal other bands' fans, right? Because that's all we can do at this point. We already have our own fan base and like our core people that we know are going to buy the tickets. How do we push from 2,000 to 4,000? You know, and that's where we're at right now. It's doing festivals, it's doing those support tours, and it's continuing to want more, right? Because and it's fine if we didn't want that. Don't get me wrong. There was a time in the career where we were like, yeah, this is cool. We could like chill and keep doing this and put it on autopilot, right? No, we want more out of it. So let's push it to the limit.
What's up, guys? Real quick, this episode is brought to you by Aonic. Aonic provides clean hydration crafted with magnesium, electrolytes, and real fruit juice. Made for those looking to get the most out of hydration. We've got some sparkling passion fruit, some sparkling orange, and a sparkling raspberry. Aonic is developing the world's most advanced ecosystem for functional nutrition to make healthy living enjoyable. Aonic delivers pure science-driven nutrition, and every formula targets a clear need and delivers benefits you can feel. What I love most about it is that there's no pixie dusting of ingredients, which means they only use clinical validated dosages. Plus, it's third-party verified. Independent labs test every batch and they publish the results. It's got premium natural ingredients from real cacao and vanilla in Aonic Fuel to real fruit juice in Aonic Revive. Plus, the best part, low calories, baby. Only 15 calories in this whole can. Delicious taste, zero artificial, low in sugar and calories. No caffeine or added sugars, no artificial sweeteners, no GMOs. It's just the right amount of fruit juice compared to sweetness. It's really good. We've got some chromium, some B vitamins, some zinc. I love drinking it after a hike. I love drinking it after pickleball. It's really, really good. So if you want to try it, it's going to be linked down below. Stay hydrated, my friends. Now back to the podcast. I'm just so interested in the inner workings of a band. So now you guys just finished this tour with Day to Remember, Yellow Card. Do you start working on an album? Are you already planning out the next headlining tour, going back to those same cities that you were just at to try and get those people to come?
Totally. That's the idea. Is you want to think about how can we now maximize like going back to those cities. Ideally, you put tickets on sale immediately the day after you were there because you want it to be fresh in people's minds.
But can you do that legally with the contracts?
After the show's over, yes. It depends. On some of these big festivals, there's what's called radius clause, right? Where it's like you can't play sometimes within a year, like within like 100-mile radius of those things, like
that long.
Like Coachella, for example, is a big one. Lollapalooza, they do stuff like that, where it's like if you're playing our festival, you cannot play within like a year, within 100 miles of this festival, and that's what makes it so exclusive. They're going to pay you the big money, so you have to take that. Some of the smaller stuff are the support tours, opening for bands like A Day to Remember. Usually it's not as big of a deal. Like once that show's over, you can put a show on sale. So we have to think strategically like that. But as far as the new album and stuff goes, we're already thinking about that as well. So it's new music. When do we do the headline tours? We have other festivals to look forward to. It's going to be a busy next year, I think. We're also out of contract with our record label. So we've now done 5 records with our record label. So
that was your original contract?
Yeah. Well, we re-signed a couple of times.
Oh, okay.
I think the first one was maybe 2 albums, and then we did 1. We kept re-signing every time because we always loved our relationship with our record label. Who knows? Maybe this is the time where we start to reach out and think about other options. A lot of bands are thinking really creatively these days when it comes to releasing music. Some are starting their own record labels.
Like 8123, the main.
Yes, exactly. Some are self-releasing and going independent completely, which is so much work.
And who did that successfully in your eyes?
I think a lot of bands have tried it. I think technically the Main had tried it before. I think bands like Circus Survive had done it before. I don't want to say any wrong bands if I guess, but I've heard mixed reviews on that idea because it's so much work. You have to become your own record label, your own publishing, your own this and that. You have to distribute your own ways and find ways to get it in the hands of record stores and things like that. You have to press the vinyl yourself. You have to make the CD. I don't even know if bands make CDs anymore.
Yeah, is that even an option for you guys now? I know you're a fan base.
I mean, this is a question for the viewers. Do you guys buy CDs anymore? Who willingly do you? Or I feel like bands are selling more vinyl than CDs lately.
Because it's more of a collector's piece.
Totally. Because I don't.
I have all these vinyls. I don't even have a record player.
Me neither. Like I have all of my all of Champ's vinyl variants of everything, like all the different colors and all the splatters and whatnot. And the test presses, but they just sit on a shelf, man. So it's like some people really do like to collect and listen to vinyl.
I respect those people so much because they love the art of it. They like the sound of it.
But cars don't have CD players anymore, do they? Nope. So I don't think CDs are a thing anymore.
But even me, if I want to listen to one of your songs, I'm like, boop. Rather than, hey, let me go plug this in, turn this on, get the record, put it up, figure out the scratch thing.
And maybe this is so like modern of us to be talking like this, but like I don't know, man. Maybe it's not as big of a deal as just making sure that you're. But record labels also have such good relationships with streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music,
To
so
get you on those
they have you
playlists?
they have you a way better chance at getting on New Music Friday, on the all new punk, and like that kind of things. Sure enough, a lot of it can happen organically, and it has for us before. Spotify did a really cool thing for us when this last album came out. They put us on the Times Square billboard, which was amazing. Like the big long one at the corner of Times Square. And that was just from Spotify being like, "Hey, we're excited about your new album. Will you send us your most recent logo and most recent photo of you guys to use for press?" And we didn't even know what they were going to do. And then the next day, it showed up on Times Square.
How
We were
sick.
like, and my mom was like, "I'm going down there. I gotta try," because she lives in Albany, a couple hours away.
Yeah.
So she drove right down, ate lunch like in one of the restaurants with the view of Times Square. Kept taking selfies like with our billboard next to it. It was so funny, man.
Having 5 full lengths out now, being a band for 15 years, how do you think the industry treats you? Do they treat you a little better than they used to because you've been around for so long? Not even the fact that you have a loyal fan base, but the fact that you're still going.
I think it's a little of this and a little of that. I think since we've been a band for so long, yes, we found our way to like establish our like legacy and plant our flag in the scene as like some of the, but at the same time, I think a lot of like industry folk, press are looking for the next best thing that's young and fresh too. So we have to find ways to make sure that we're still balancing, not becoming the old guy band, but while also like
Oh, you're
staying
so
fresh.
far
and-
from that, though.
But the term legacy starts to creep in to with something like us. 5 albums in, 15 years as a band. We always considered ourselves like the baby new band trying to insert ourselves in the scene. We're not the baby band anymore. We've got 5 albums out. You know,
But
we've
I
been-
still feel like you have so much youth because the performance is there, the music is there.
I do too, and maybe it's just because pop punk. Maybe is it so youthful that it never seems like you're an old band. But there's definitely bands in our space that I'm like, yeah, those guys have been doing it for a minute, bro. So how do we balance that? I feel like we've done a good job of it so far, though. You know,
So what do you have planned now for the rest of 2025? Are you guys already thinking about that?
The rep-
Do you already have that planned out?
the rest of 2025 is pretty set in stone right now. We're about to go on another short tour through November. That's like small. We wanted to go back to the basics kind of and like remember where we came from, which is like sweaty, small punk clubs, like with no barricade, small stages. And so we did that. We're going to do like 10 or 11 shows on our way down from Ohio down to Florida for Van's Warped Tour, because the Warped Tour finishes in Orlando in the middle of November. So we're going to do all these like packed out small clubs, 300 cap, basically 300 people in there, and they're all sold out. It's going to be crazy. It might be a little dangerous at times, but we're going to make sure nobody gets hurt. Lots of stage dives, crowd surfing, and kind of like remember our roots type thing, which is going to be cool. And so we'll do Warped Tour then, and then in December we're going to go over to the UK. We're supporting our friends Don Broco. You know who they are?
Yeah.
They still do so well. They smash arenas in the UK. So we're gonna go over there and like do some big boy shows to round out the holidays in December. With one being Wembley Arena in London, which is going to be a bucket list one for us. See, it goes back to those those goals that we've been trying to achieve. Like, who else can we support? How do we get in those big rooms? How do we steal other bands' fans? It's another example of that. So we're very grateful for it, man. It's going to be cool.
Do you get offered a tour slot on a Day to Remember yellow card, or how does that work for the opening acts?
It's pretty funny with the Day to Remember one. It was actually only supposed to be a Yellow Card tour. Like, we accepted a tour from Yellow Card to be supporting them as the direct support underneath Yellow Card. And then it wasn't until like maybe a week before that was supposed to be announced that we heard, "Hey guys, change of plans. A Day to Remember is now adopting your tour." And we were like, sick, that's great. And like, and it's going to be in bigger rooms. It's now going to be in amphitheaters. And since it was a Yellow Card tour, we're already like, you guys make the decisions. We're just there because you don't choose the cities or choose the venues when it's not your tour.
So you already okayed it before the routing
We
gets done.
okayed it. We okayed it. And we saw the routing was supposed to be smaller rooms in different cities. And then we just got like, hey, change of plans. Like, this is what's going on now. It's now a Day to Remember Yellow Card tour together. And we were like, that's great because it's right in our wheelhouse of like pop punk legacy meets like a little heavier and like more aggressive. It's like we're the perfect band to be supporting both of those bands. So yeah, we accepted the tour, and then we just see the list of cities, list of venues, and then we get ready to go.
What is the backstage life like on a Day to Remember yellow card tour?
It's pretty funny because they're kind of older and like they all have like families and kids and stuff, especially in Florida where they're both from. They had like hundreds and hundreds of family. It was like it must have been like a family reunion essentially for Yellow Card and A Day to Remember. There's little kids running around. There's like they're playing games and there's like makeup and face painting and there's balloons everywhere. I'm like, is it a birthday party? What's going on? No, they all have families and they all have really really cool family members and everybody. I met so many of their, brothers, sisters, nephews, nieces, and aunts and uncles and like but everybody's super super cool on days where it's not like that. Sean, the violin player of Yellow Card, is like me and him talk golf all the time because he's like he could be a pro golfer. He golfs every day, gets up in the morning and goes golfing at like 6 a.m.
Even on tour.
Even on tour, he brings his golf
Wow.
clubs out with him, and he's out every day. And he plays with like some of the pros that are if he's in their town or whatnot. I'm not a morning person, so I'm like, Sean, you go do that, and like we'll play on an off day or like we'll play on the weekend or something. We never got to on the tour, mainly because he likes to get up in the early. I'm so sorry, Sean, you get up too early. A Day to Remember will just pop into our green room all the time. They'll come in and ask Ryan, my bass player, for like fashion advice because he's like the vintage clothing guy. Neil will come into our green room with like 2 shirts, be like, Ryan, which one, this one or this one? Yeah, like I don't know. We'll just hang out and shoot the shit, have drinks, and we gifted them a big bottle of tequila on the last day of tour to say thank you. And then I think they might have scrambled and been like, damn, we didn't get them a gift. And then like 15 minutes later, they came back like, we got you vodka. We were like, you only did that because we just got you a bottle of tequila, you losers. But that was still so nice of them. Like they didn't owe us anything, neither did we to them. But like we wanted to show our appreciation because A Day to Remember is literally one of the bands that made me want to be in a band when I was in high school, right? And now to consider them close friends of ours and just homies that I can text all the time and ask for advice, it's pretty special. It's really cool.
What is it like for you as a vocalist to see Jeremy go from singing to screaming?
Scared.
Is it tough?
It makes me scared for him, but like he has that so dialed. He's been doing it for so long, right? I can't imagine having to do the singing and then go back to the screaming
Night
like as
after
much as
night.
he does. And they don't take a lot of days off, and he's doing it for 90 minutes at a time. Like on that tour with us, I'm not screaming. I'm only singing. We were only doing 35 minutes. Sure enough, I know what it's like to be the headliner too, but not with the screaming, man. That's crazy. You have to like. That's very technique based, I think, because if you try to do that the wrong way, you're gonna screw your shit up
And
you
blow
know?
out your voice.
Totally. So I think he over the years, I know he's had issues in the past. Like I used to watch their DVDs that came with their albums back in the day, and
Those
there
are
were
the
times,
best.
and I love those. I kind of want to bring that back. By the
Sum
way.
41, I think, had one of the best ones with the second album, Hell Song.
Oh yeah.
That was a really cool DVD.
Yeah, I used to watch those with like Census Fail and Thrice
Yes.
and Hawthorne Heights, right?
Yes.
So cool. And A Day to Remember being one too. And I remember one happening with him with his voice going, and that's when I found out what throat coat tea was. Like he was like, I wanted throat coat from the store, but they didn't have it. So I was like, what's that? And that's the reason I drink throat coat tea is because of Jeremy. I haven't told him that. I try not to fanboy too much sometimes. I'm like, I used to do this and that. I used to like know everything about you without even being friends with you. So I try not to ask too many questions and punish, but it's really, really cool to be able to do that when I want.
I have Ryan Key coming over on Wednesday.
Cool.
Do you have any fun stuff that I can ask him about?
Ask him about his new leather rubber pants that he wears on stage.
Leather rubber pants. Got it.
No, he's a great guy, man. And Yellow Card's another one that I just grew up. Dude, Ocean Avenue was my first ringtone that I ever bought on my first cell phone, but it was the 8-bit version of Ocean Avenue, where it's like just ding, 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 and it was like probably like $8 at the time or something. They're all really, really nice guys, man, and it's so cool to just have that camaraderie that we do now, and thinking about it from 20 years ago to now. It's super, super cool, man.
For the inner workings of your band, there's 4 members. How do you guys decipher who does what, whose responsibility, who's not feeling like they're putting in too much work compared to the other people?
Yeah, I think it's tough. I think we've ran into problems, and we still are learning how it works with the balance of like delegating roles within a band. I say this way too much. I envy solo artists, pop stars, rappers, DJs that are one entity that make the decision, and there's one cook in the kitchen.
Yeah, because what if the vote is 2-2? How do you guys decide what's going to happen?
We still try to figure that out. Sometimes we literally flip a coin. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah, because it would be much easier if it was 3 or 5, an odd number where there's always going to be a swing vote. Luckily, a lot of the time it is like majority rules where it's 3 against 1. I've been outvoted 3-1 plenty of times on the littlest things, right? When it comes down to like merch designs, set list, picking a set list. Um, but those are the things where it's like sometimes you have to be able to give up your pride a little bit and be like, listen, we're going to do plenty more tours. We're going to put out plenty more shirts. Let this one go. It's fine. You don't need to be a stickler about it because that's how inner turmoil starts, right? And it's how bands can break up if you really have too much pride. So you have to be willing to trust your homies too and your band members with things. Whether it's big decisions, little decisions, we have to be willing to talk things out. And we've found the wrong ways to go about that where we fight like heck and we fight like brothers and it turns into this issue and maybe management has to get involved and it's like, hey guys, we got to talk about this. But we've been really good about figuring that out within ourselves lately and just being like, hey, let's hit the group chat, let's get on a call or let's go to lunch and just be able to sit down and be like, what do we really want? Let's be intentional about everything. That's been our huge thing in the past like year or two. Every decision that we make
With purpose.
with purpose. What's our intention here? What are we trying to achieve? Rather than just like this seems like the move. Let's do that. Or the fans will like this. Or it would be pretty expected of us to do this or make this decision. No, it's like, what do we want out of this? What do we want to achieve? Do we want a radio hit? Do we want to just play this? Do we want to climb our way up the ad mat and towards the headlining thing? What do we want? And that's been important to us lately.
Was that always smooth sailing for you guys doing that? Or was it ever rocky even in the
It was
beginning?
definitely rocky at times, for sure. It got to the point where it's like, man, and I mean, doing anything for 15 years, I don't think it can be as smooth as possible. And especially if you factor in things like the time of COVID, right? Where it's like, what's going on there? Are we even going to tour again? What do we do to keep ourselves relevant? It was definitely a tough thing for a while, but it's over time, it's gotten easier and we're still learning, like I said, every day.
How does the payout work for a band? Is there just one big bank account and then it just gets paid out every 2 weeks, every month?
Yeah, every band goes about it differently. Some bands do like an actual payroll setup where it's like a fixed income that like is a salary based essentially.
So they get a paycheck every 2 weeks and everyone lives off that?
Sure, it's like monthly or things like that. We don't do it like that. At one point we did, but we found it to not work as well as we wanted it to. Every band makes different amounts of money too, and it's not steady because we do different tours, we do different festivals every year that can generate different incomes. So we can't really fix ourselves to a certain set salary every time. And there's different bills and different expenses to pay along the way completely. The more money you make, the more money you're going to watch go away.
Because you're building out a bigger stage.
And yeah, your
crew.
expenses for production. How well do you want your stage to look? How many people did you bring on that tour to work for you? What kind of vehicle were you traveling in? Were you in one of the big boy buses? Because theirs goes $100,000 right there on a tour, you know? And then on top of that, you're paying your manager, your booking agent, your record label, everything in between. So it's crazy when I see gross profit from a tour and then here's all your bills. And they go poof. So we try to do it tour by tour where we go through the list with our business managers at the end of like, okay, what's left? What's healthy to keep in our band bank account? Because there's another tour coming up right around the corner. And you're going to need startup expenses for that, to pay for flights, to pay for freighting, for shipping all of your gear to get to the tour. It's such a I'm so happy. I would never be a band manager ever. I can't imagine.
But it's interesting how much you know about this. 'Cause
Yeah.
I feel like you're kind of rare where you're informed about this.
It's funny though. It's thank you for making it seem like I do know a lot. I don't know enough, honestly. I should be more informed, honestly, on the actual numbers behind it. But I try to, because this is our livelihood, right? And like this is for so long we tried to make it not about the money, but now we're all in our 30s and we have to be able to live. You know, especially like we're all scattered in families, kids, houses. Like, duh, we have to make sure that we're making the right decisions and we're not getting screwed over. But I should keep more of an eye on it, needless to say. But I do know how quickly everything goes and like how much it takes to run the ship that is a full-time touring band. And it's gnarly, man. So it makes us try to cut back when we can on certain things, but we don't want to cut too far back and not put on the show and be living as comfortably as we need to for morale on tour. So it's like that's a balance in itself too that we always have to talk about and find the sweet spot.
So for you guys, you can decipher how much you kind of want to make and
Totally. We go through budgets every tour where it's like, here's how much it's going to cost you to do this. That being said, do you guys want to travel in a big boy bus, one of the even bigger boy buses, or maybe dial it back and do one of the like a little more RV style, like this and that? Or you could do it in a van and get hotels every night, and then you see how much you're going to make there. And our drummer always goes, "Let's do that, man. Let's do that. I'll drive the van. We'll
'Cause you
get
make the most
we'll
off
get
it.
hotels every night, and it like triples our income at the end of a tour if we do it like that." But
That's crazy to even get a hotel and it makes that much more money.
I know, so
Than a
it's
tour
crazy
bus.
than living on the tour bus sometimes, you know. But
Did you guys ever splurge on the biggest tour bus and you were just like,
yeah, we
"Fuck it,
did,
let's do
and
it."
I hated that we did that because then we were like, we can't do anything less than this moving forward. That was kind of bad for our ego. That was like when we started doing Warped Tours back in the day when it was all summer long. You needed the nice big bus to be in for that tour to make it through alive, you know, and not break up as a band because it's hot, sweaty, summer, dusty everywhere. You needed a nice shower and you needed a nice bed and comfortable living for stuff like that. It wasn't always like that. We did do one Warped Tour in a van and sweated it out, but I was only like 20 years old at that point, so I was just excited.
Was that the most profitable one for you?
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
Totally. Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah. So the more money, more problems, but you also want comfortability and you want to be able to, you want morale to stay high within the band because the more uncomfortable people are, the more they're going to bash heads. And that's how bands break up, man. So we've learned so much along the way when it comes to that process.
This is so fascinating. Thank you for sharing all this.
Yeah, of course, man.
Wow. When have you seen the bank account blow up the most? Is it after a headlining tour?
Yeah, usually on a headline tour because that's where the best deals come in. And, you know, you can also do things like a VIP meet and greet. That's a huge thing when it comes to doing a tour like that. It's a difference of tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars when you do the 50 people come in early before the show and they get to meet you, take pictures, hang out. They get a merch package. They get to buy merch before everybody and they get that barricade spot at the front because they're in there before everybody else. People will pay a lot of money for that. On top of that, sometimes we do what's called like the gold package where we'll pick 5 people whoever gets to buy them first, they get to stand on the stage with us while we play.
That's cool.
And
Do you
they
do that every tour?
We've only started doing it the past like 1 or 2.
Did
And
you do it on Day to Remember Yellow Card?
No, we can only do that when we're headlining. It's funny though, like when you get to a certain point too, you don't really care about the money for certain things like that. A Day to Remember, for example, on this past tour, they would go out right before they would play into the lawn, like I talked about before, and they would pick maybe like 30 people, and they would say, "Hey, you guys, like, I like your Day to Remember shirt. You guys want better seats? And come with me." So they didn't even know what was going on. They would get brought right up to the stage, and there's a big platform behind the drummer on the stage in full view of everyone else in the crowd, and they get to stand right behind the drummer, like 30 people.
That's
And they're all just
cool.
rocking out on their shoulders, and like they stay there the whole entire show, and it's free. They just get picked out of the crowd. That was so cool. I was like, man, respect, because they're not asking for money. You know, they're making enough. They're doing just fine. You know, it's cool to give the fans a cool experience like that and offer stuff like that. You know?
You've done countless shows, countless tours, countless festivals.
Yeah.
Who are your top 3 performing bands that you've seen live that just blew you away?
Honestly, I'm gonna put A Day to Remember in this as far as like top 3 because I watch them every night and I really do appreciate and give them so much credit for how much they put into their live show. They make sure that their stage production and song by song, there's new elements being added in. Like how engaged you keep a crowd. Even myself, as someone who gets to watch it every night, I wanted to make sure I was out there watching every single night, just in case something new happened, or just to make sure, just to be there and be like, wow, these guys are pros and they know what they're doing. Another band I would put up there is Boys Like Girls. Whenever we tour with Boys Like Girls, I have to watch them every day. I'm a fan of the songs. I'm a fan of their swag, you know, as a band and like their like aesthetic.
Yeah, Martin has that.
He's Showtime all the time and he's locked in, you know, and I love watching that and just what he's gonna do, his little nuances and everything, the leather jacket, prime time, like it's awesome. And then on top of that, I'd put Blink-182 in there. We just did a couple festivals, Aftershock being one, and then this 4-chord festival in Pittsburgh. Their communication and the way that they talk on stage, it makes me want to be funnier in a sense without trying to be funny. It's just a weird thing. It makes me realize no matter how old you are, you can still make dick and fart jokes on stage and make fun of yourself and be vulnerable and just like not give a shit, basically. Like that's the essence of punk rock to me.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how their stage looks, doesn't matter about them playing the best or having the best songs. They're known for being a crappy punk rock band, but they're still the best of the best and are so pro about it and can make fun of themselves the whole way, and people are so engaged. So that's 3 different like styles of me wanting to learn from the others, you know?
What are the top 3 pop punk albums you're listening to now?
It's so funny, man. Like, I'm in a pop punk band and I'm submersed in this pop punk world, but I don't listen to a lot of pop punk. It's pretty wild, you
Even
know?
a new album comes out, I have to check this out.
I mean, I'll listen to it, but I
Yeah.
don't listen to a whole lot of pop punk. It's wild. I do really like the new A Day to Remember record. I think that's cool. The new Yellow Card record is cool.
Did you like the starting line?
I love the Starting Line. Okay, so I like the new Starting Line record a lot.
You did.
I do like the new Starting Line record. The Starting Line's probably my favorite band.
He's coming over in 2 weeks.
No shit.
Kenny,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. I love
Yeah.
Kenny. He's a great dude, and like I listen to a lot of his interviews and whatnot just because of his story and how young he started. Right?
How old is he?
I think
16,
I
right?
think he was like 15 when they first broke. You know?
On drive through?
Yeah, yeah. So and he was like the youngest little kid in the scene, but like grew that into the machine that is the Starting Line. But even the ups and downs with them as a band, like they didn't really blow up the same time, and watched bands like Fall Out Boy and My Chemical Romance go, and Paramore, right? And they kind of got left in a little bit of a shadow, but held strong. And now they're still putting out some of the best music ever. It's so cool.
This is their first album in 17 years?
In a long time, dude.
Crazy.
Direction, the Starting Line Direction is probably my favorite album of all time.
Really?
So you can tell him I said that.
I will. I love that song Island, right?
Yeah, Island's on that.
I remember
So
when
good.
that music video came out. That was a fun one.
Like that's the thing. I don't listen to a lot of new pop punk. I still go back and will listen to Starting Line Direction, Acceptance, Phantoms. Like I'll go back and listen to old The Main albums. You know, like I still do. The Main has so many albums. I can just flip through their discography all the time.
Every 2 years, new album.
I know they
They're on
stay
a
so
cycle.
consistent. I don't know how they do it.
Is that impressive for you as another artist to see that every 2
Yeah.
years they have a whole new album?
It's funny though because now every 2 years putting out an album might not be enough, you know, because of the attention span of the viewer, of the listener. If you take 2 years off, people might forget about you at this point. So you need to kind of like fill the gaps with things. Obviously, touring will help.
EPs and covers.
EPs and covers. I like to think about what if you just start playing the single game and just put out a single every month or something like that, or
Do you
every
think the
couple
audience
months.
would get their fix though?
I don't know. It's the thing. It's almost going to take some trial and error to see like what the fans are interested in, how it engages, how the numbers stack up against that. If like people, or is that too much? I don't know. Or do you put a single out every couple months and then at the end of the year, say, great, remember all those singles we put out? Here's the album. It's all those songs. But with that, you don't get anything new and fresh once the album comes out, if that makes sense.
That's kind of how I feel because
Yeah.
I heard Kenny Visoli talking about how if you want to be taken seriously, you have to do the full album.
Yeah,
Because otherwise, if you're just dropping singles, it's just the singles game.
that's true. Yeah, because then once the album comes out, you want to be able to be like, I want to listen to all those songs I haven't heard yet.
And if they're just not filler songs, but they're not as catchy as the other ones.
But that's the issue. Sometimes bands, like the fans will go, oh, well, all the good songs have already been released. You know, and now the ones that I haven't heard yet, I just want to go back and listen to the other ones. But that's the glory and the challenge in making an album is that there's no fillers, right? You know?
Right.
And making sure that you're not just like, well, that one can go on the album, but it's not going to be a single. You can't have that mindset, you know?
I think Sum 41, All Killer No Filler, that's all killer.
It's in the title, isn't it?
Every song's a hit.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the best albums of all time.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the whole pop punk revival in the past couple of years? I know you go out and DJ emo night.
hmm
Does that help you guys get exposure to a different audience, or is that pretty much your audience that's there anyway?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think the emo night stuff is very cool. It keeps like the modern factor of, you know, where pop punk's at and it gives it such a nostalgic feel, obviously, and remembers like we're all here because we like the same shit. And that could be any type of music, but it's just the emo night thing, and the emo night name has built such a brand for itself that only helps bands like us if we're still trying to carve our way up the mountain as a band and whatnot. The revival, I think, has only helped, and I'm just curious. It's very fascinating to me to see where the trends are going. Like, you know, I thought maybe the pop punk revival was over and it was all country in the past year. Everything's switching over to country, and I thought bands were going to start to like put a country twang on themselves or something like that. But that's not really the case. I see it start to kind of come back to the pop punk wave, but now. Who knows, man? I'm just excited to be here. The thing is, regardless, like we know with State Champs where we're at and what works for us, and we're not gonna like go switch it up and pull a complete 180 on everybody. We're gonna just do what we want.
What made you finally decide to do a self-titled album? Was that a tough decision for you guys, saying this is State Champs?
Yeah, I think it totally was. I mean, it's our 5th album, and
Because that kind of defines your sound.
totally, when you go, this is self-titled, people go, okay, well, you better bring it then. This better be like the epitome of State Champs or of said band name. I think most bands probably put out self-titled on like their second or third album, but we waited until 5. And I didn't want it to be so obvious to everybody that it's like, or I didn't want people to think that you made it self-titled because you couldn't think of an album name. That wasn't the case at all. We actually had a few ideas that I was ready to like totally use, and that kind of almost still show in the album. I wanted to call this album Embedded, or like Forever Embedded, and I wanted it to be like, because I knew I wanted to brand the trophy finally. That was another thing. We didn't know when it was the right time to brand a trophy as state champs. Like we thought it was way too easy. But I wanted to like I wanted the album cover to be like a trophy kind of like stuck in cement, and it's like kind of carving your name in the cement and forever to like plant yourself in the scene. But I felt like that almost was a little too easy too. So when it came down to it, it's like when the album was done and we were listening through all and picking the winners for the album, we were like, man, this just sounds like how we want to be perceived. And if anyone were to listen to State Champs for the first time, we want them to hear this album, you know? So that's when it was like, are we leaning towards self-titled right now? Is that what we're talking about? And we're like, yeah. Like it started to all make sense and fall into place. So I just want everybody to know we didn't immediately go to self-titled because we were out of ideas.
So the self-titled album's been out for over a year now, right?
Yeah.
How do you think it's been perceived? Did it do everything that you wanted it to do?
I think so. I think it's great. I think it's kind of how I gauge when an album comes out is like how it goes over live and how many of those songs you can fit into a set list.
That's a cool way to gauge it.
And without it feeling like, oh, well, those ones are getting stale. You got to go back to the hits.
Mhm.
No, like I find ourselves front loading heavily with some of these newer songs. And right from when it came out, we did the headline tour for this self-titled album the day that it came out. Like we started our tour, and I'm always worried about that too. The album is just coming out. They don't know the words. But we were looking out at the crowd line for the first show the day the album came out. Everybody had headphones in, and everybody was listening to the new album like the day
Gotta learn the
it
lyrics.
came out. And then sure enough, they knew. Like it didn't take long at all. So sure enough, I would still like an album to come out and then maybe do the tour a month later, right? So or like a couple weeks later, so that they have time to let it sit. But we didn't see too much of a lag in that. Like people were already screaming the songs, and we get so much stuff online that's like, well, how come you haven't played that one song you haven't played on the new album yet? Well, you don't want to overdo it too much. And now it's just so hard to pick a set list because we've got 5 albums. So it's like how much you got to give the new album its flowers, but you have to make sure that people don't forget about the old stuff and think that you're just trying to like feed them all the new shit. You know, you got to balance it out with everything in between and not forget about it. We'll do that. We'll pick a whole set list and then be like, oh shit, we forgot about that one entire album.
Right.
So now we got to go reform it. It's hard, man, but
What
it's
I-
also fun, you know?
What I think is so cool for you is now that you're coming up to the time where you can do the new album tours, but you can also do a 10 or 15 year anniversary tour.
Yeah, I know. It's that's what we're planning right now too. Is our second album, Around the World and Back, is 10 years old this year, and everyone's keeps asking, "Where's the tour? Where's the anniversary tour?" Because now it's about to be over for 10 years. But we're going to do it. It's just going to be at the top of next year. You're getting the exclusive, by the way.
Guys, we're breaking it out now. Wow, that's so cool.
You're getting the exclusive. We're working it all out right now. We're designing the posters. We picked the rooms. We picked the cities. I think it's going to be about 8 cities, 8 shows in our biggest markets. And so it's going to be New York, Boston. We're going to do one LA show. We're going to do Philly. We're going to do
Philly goes off.
yeah, Philly is going to be. We're doing Chicago, and they're going to be some of the biggest venues that we've ever played. So
Wow.
we're really taking a swing here because it's our second album, which we consider probably our breakout biggest album at the time, and maybe still a lot of our fans' favorites. I mean, it's the one that has Secrets and All Yours History, and so it's like some of our biggest songs are from that album. We have to pay tribute to it in some way, and we have to do it big. So we're going to do it.
Front to back.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I haven't talked about this with the guys. I don't know if I want to play it in order.
Okay.
That's my. But
Because you
we're
might have to redesign it for the
yeah,
live.
maybe. But then that's not it. We're probably gonna do the album, and then go off stage, come back out, and do another set, like another set of full, all different songs.
People are losing their shit right now.
we gotta do something special, man. It's only right. So that'll probably be announced very soon.
And do you already have in mind who the opening acts would be?
Yep, I think we're just about to solidify that. I can't give away anything for there, but there's some cool bands. One being one of our favorite bands growing up, a big legacy act that is now back and better than ever. So that's very cool and exciting for us too. And we have one, and then the LA one is probably one of my favorite younger, newer bands on the scene that is blowing up right now. So I'll let people make their guesses.
Can you tell us the LA venue?
Yeah, we're gonna do the Will Turn.
Wow.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
I'm excited about that.
Okay.
We played it once before, or maybe once or twice, but one time was opening for another band. I think it was with Sleeping with Sirens. And then another time we did headline it, but we didn't sell it out. So that's the goal this time.
Do you have to go back and listen to the album front to back to learn the lyrics?
I probably will. You know what? Not really, but there's a couple that we've never ever played live ever. So on that album.
Why?
I don't know. I
Not
think,
live energy?
yeah, maybe just because of the live energy, but we have to play it this time. So I'm gonna need to relearn a lot of lyrics and learn to sing it live for the first time in some cases. So it's pretty cool, man. It's an exciting time.
Do you think your voice has changed that much to where you won't be able to hit anything?
No, I think it'll be okay. I mean, the glory with being in a band these days is like sometimes, and every band does this, you can drop the keys of certain songs if it's a little too high for you.
For the entire song?
Yeah, you can
Oh,
do that.
cool.
Yeah, you can just like say one song in particular on the album is just a little too high for me. We can then just take everything and drop it down like, one key or a half a step even, and it's just so it's a little bit easier for me to sing. It's fine. And then even if I'm feeling more confident on some nights, I can switch it right back up.
Are you ever not in the mood to play?
Sometimes. Yeah.
What do you do?
It makes me sound very ungrateful though.
not at all.
It's like first world problems, But it's like any job that anybody has, even if you love it. You never work a day in your life if you love what you do. That doesn't mean that every day you're going to wake up and love and want to do that thing.
You could be having a terrible day.
Sometimes you're sick. Sometimes you've got other personal shit going on. And that's okay. Needless to say, like once I get on stage and I like give myself a little bit of a pep talk, look what you get to do. Look at the change that you're like giving to people and like how you can make someone's day by just being up there and engaging with someone or meeting someone. Once I get on stage, it all kind of goes away, but that doesn't make it tough sometimes. You wake up and just not feeling it. But you find ways to kind of check yourself on it and bring yourself around, just like anything.
Let's say you were performing in the biggest venue and you could only play one song. What's the song that you're performing?
I'd say it's probably got to be Secrets, I think. Secrets is just our biggest song. When I think about it, it's like Secrets is the song that we will never not play, right? I think it's either that or Everybody But You is another like big anthem, like anthemic song of ours. But I could be selfish and just say one of my favorites that like
What's that?
Losing Myself is another one of my favorites, and that's on Around the World and Back as well. So that's probably always been one of my favorites.
What's your favorite song to close with now?
It's been Secrets forever, and we took a tour off and did Everybody But You last. We could also maybe go back and do, say, like Silver Cloud, which we've been playing first forever.
When you did Everybody But You, did you do Secrets right before it?
I think so.
And then you did the fake goodbye?
I think so. That's another thing. We kind of need to change the dynamic of the encore. Maybe we just need to get rid of it completely.
What? As the lead singer, why? Why do we do
I don't
it?
know. Sometimes it's a little cheese ball to kind of walk off stage like, thank you.
And then we're all waiting for the hit.
We know you're gonna come back out.
There's
Bro.
two
And we
more
know
songs
we
you
know
gotta
you're
do.
just standing over there. And we're like, and that is what we're doing sometimes. Or actually a lot of the time we're waiting for Tyler to pee because he always has to pee. And I'm like, God, Tyler, they're gonna stop chanting one more song. Come on, hurry up.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I'll be right there, and he's peeing. Or we're just waiting to be find the right, like let him keep going a little bit more. It's gonna get louder. It's gonna get louder, and then we run back out there. It's a little cheesy sometimes. So maybe we just start saying, hey, we got 3 songs left, and that's it. So like give us all you got because we're not coming back out whether you like it or not. I don't know. A Day to Remember just did that. That's why I bring that up. They did that. They were like, we're putting an end to encores. We have 3 more songs and give us everything.
And did you think the audience felt that?
No.
They were they
No.
weren't satisfied.
No, they were satisfied.
Oh,
They were satisfied because I think at that point they knew that, like, okay, well, they played all their hits. I don't think there's anything they would play that we didn't want to hear. And when they get done, they turn all the lights on and they start playing the house music. So people know that it's over. It's one thing if you just go, thank you, good night, bloom, and then it's just black and silent. Because then people know there's more to come. They're like, otherwise people start shunning people out. Security's like, all right, everybody. They start sweeping stuff. Yeah. Who knows? My mind changes on that all the time.
What was your favorite Day to Remember song live?
I really like the song LeBron. They have a song called LeBron
So
on this
good.
new album. It's really good. And specifically for that song, they would bring out big basketball hoops that on each side of the stage, and then they would throw all like beach ball sized basketballs into the crowd, and there would be a contest as to which side scores more points. And I'm like, so it's just perfect for a song called LeBron, and they're shooting basketball beach balls into the hoops. It was fun to watch every night. And then they've got pyro going and confetti, and here I am in my mind. I'm like, that must cost so much money.
Another pyro?
I'd love to see your budget at the end of a tour. But you got to spend it to give people that show that makes. I've never seen anything like that. I have to go see them next time.
Really?
That's the mindset that I think about. I'm like, I want to make sure that my fans think that when they leave our show. But I also want to make sure that I can pay my rent too.
When you're doing the arena tour in the UK,
Mhm.
do you guys already have everything planned out for that?
No, not yet. That's another. I think we try to go to. We've got so much stuff coming up with. It's like Warp Tour and the headline tour and the small clubs, and then we're putting so much of our attention on the Around the World and Back anniversary stuff for next year that I almost think we've kind of forgotten about the UK thing. So I'm gonna leave here and make a call and be like, hey, is everything good for this? Thank you.
We're still doing that, right?
we got a lot going on, man. But it's not a bad problem to have. It's all exciting shit, man, and it makes me very grateful to be as busy as we are. You know.
When State Champs gets to Warp Tour, whose bus are you guys going on to first? Who's coming onto your bus to rekindle, hang out?
I think it's probably Boys Like Girls. I got to think of who's on Warp Tour. Neck Deep, the story so far. The Main, if they're playing. We have a core group of friends that are always kind of, just hopping on each other's bus in the green room, pranking each other, whatever. Or like friends I know will be on stage next to us watching. 4 Year Strong is another one. Plenty of camaraderie and there's plenty of small talk to be had everywhere you go at Warped Tour. There's you'll never be bored, needless to say.
With everybody but you and the collaboration with Neck Deep, would
Mhm.
you guys ever do another collab with them? How do you guys figure that out?
I would love to do another collab with Neck Deep. I don't think that's ever off the table, and I think we have so much crossover love and same kind of group of diehard fans that they would eat that up anytime we do it. When we were just in Kentucky for a festival called Louder Than Life, Neck Deep was also on tour. They're on tour with The Story So Far right now. And
Are you going next week?
are they playing here next week?
Saturday in Santa Ana.
I think I'll be away. Otherwise I would be there. But I kind of forgot to ask Ben about coming up and singing with us on stage for everybody but you. Sure enough, we're getting ready to play the song, and he's already up there. Like none of us asked him. Nobody talked to him.
He was just there.
He was just up there, putting his ears in, ready to sing. And
Pretty much-
that's my guy, man. I owe him so much for that. Like, he didn't have to do that. He could have just been like, and maybe he wasn't in like just like any other day. What we were just talking about. If you're not in the mood, you're not in the mood. Sometimes I hate bothering people to be like, hey man, will you do the thing with us? Like, come on. But he was right up there. He came right out, sang, killed it. The crowd went nuts. It's like, thanks, that's my guy.
Is it that easy for when someone's a feature on a song, they could just put their in-ears in and they're synced up and they...
Since he's done it with us so many times, we do have it locked in like that. If it's the first time that someone's done it, maybe it's a little tougher. Like maybe you want to do it at sound check first to make sure that it's like all good to go. But with Ben, he doesn't care. He doesn't need much. He's like, I'm gonna put my ears in. You know how it goes, and he has a good relationship with our crew guys that work there. He's like, hey guys, I'm here. Give me the mic. I'm going out there. Boom, done.
The Story So Far just released a live album.
Mhm.
Would State Champs ever do a live album?
You know, I've thought about that, and it's funny because we have the same management as The Story So Far, so they've brought it up to us too. What do you guys think about doing a live album? I'm not a huge fan of live albums, but listening to The Story So Far's one, I'm like, that's fun. It's really
you guys
cool.
are so good live,
I
though.
know, and the thing is, we have live versions of certain songs out on Spotify. I think it was the Around the World and Back extended, like deluxe edition, that there's a couple live versions of songs. And yeah, I think I'm just so picky. I'm such like a perfectionist. If I hear
Of your vocals?
yeah, of my vocals and everybody in the band too. I'm like, oh, if there's a little flub there, if there's a little missed note or something. Sure enough, with these live stuff, you can edit it and you can do overdubs and things. I try not to rely on that though, because you still want it to have the integrity of a live version of a song. I'm more open to it now. I think I was just a little stickler about it before. I'm like, oh, I heard that. We got to fix it. You know, I don't want to like be all about that. I want to make sure that we're, one, a good band, and two, not fixing things too much, you know?
I would love a State Champs live
It
album.
would be cool. And now I think about it more and more.
Would you ever do another acoustic?
Acoustic for sure.
Yeah.
I would definitely do acoustic. I know that the fans love that. And every time we do some kind of acoustic versions of songs or stripped down versions of songs, they eat it up. So, and that's what I came from in the first place. It's what I wrote my first songs on, and what a lot of State Champ songs are just written on an acoustic guitar in a room. So I think
Even
it's
to this day?
yeah,
This
sometimes.
most recent album?
Yeah. Sometimes it's just like myself or me and Ryan, or me, Ryan, and Tyler sitting in a room, just kind of jamming on it. I think that's the most important thing with writing a song. Is how do you know you have a good song? You know you have a good song if you can sit in a room with just one guitar and play it, and it sounds like a great song. if you have to have too many bells and whistles and added things to it, then like maybe it's not. You need to break it down to the core of just like chords and a vocal, and that's how you know you have a good song. You know.
You guys went to Joshua Tree last time to do this. and
Yeah.
You took a couple songs from there. Would you do another experience like that for the next album?
Definitely. We want to do another remote writing session, but we don't want to do anything we've done before.
Alaska.
We're already talking about stuff like that. No,
Really?
actually, not Alaska. The one thing that got brought up the other day was Montana.
That'd be sick.
Oh, I've never been. Have you been to Montana?
I've always wanted to go.
I've never been, and
it's
I hear it's
surprisingly expensive.
Is it actually?
Yes.
Damn it.
It was. I looked into it last year. It was cheaper to go to Europe.
Oh damn. Yeah, it's like we could go to like Thailand or Dubai or something like that. But like I want to be like secluded, but not too far away, and like somewhere beautiful that's inspiring, right? So I feel like Montana might be kind of cool. Alaska. Now you've in my head with Alaska too.
Maybe do it on a cruise.
Yeah, dude.
An
We're
Alaskan
doing
cruise?
it. We're doing a emo cruise coming up at the beginning of next year. The Emo's Not
With the
Dead
used?
cruise. Yeah, with
Oh,
the
I might be
used.
going to that.
Are you gonna go?
I think so.
We did it last year and it was awesome. Yeah, it was our first. It was my first time ever on a cruise too.
And what is it? Just bands playing all day on the.
Bands play all day, and there's different levels. There's a venue underneath the boat that's more like a House of Blues style venue, and then on the top there's the ocean surrounding and pool decks, main stage.
It sounds like a millionaire kid just got his wish.
I know, dude. That's
I
like,
would put all my favorite bands on a boat.
and I want free food all day and free booze, and I want a casino in it that's open 24 hours. What more could you ask for?
Do you gamble?
Yeah,
What do you play?
I play blackjack and roulette.
Oh, I love roulette.
Okay, cool. So we'll have to hit the tables then too.
Yes.
Yeah, it's such a cool thing, man. So that's another cool experience that like we're just so thankful to be a part of all these different variations of how we can portray our band. Like who never thought we'd be playing in the middle of the ocean on a cruise. What the heck?
Do you ever listen to your own stuff?
I actually do. I do listen to my own band.
What are you looking for?
More often than not. And I think it's just for gratification for myself, making sure that I sounded the way that I want and that I wouldn't change anything.
Are you going back to album 1?
No, mainly like the newer stuff. Like when an album's done and it's not out yet, I'm listening to it every day. And then it comes out, and then I kind of judge how well it did by how much longer after that I still want to listen to it. And right now I still go back and listen to the self-titled album, and it's almost been out for a year. So like I'm like, okay. Like and I don't know if it makes me almost sound stupid. It's like, am I listening to it just to give myself that gratification? It's not. I actually enjoy listening to it, but I'm making myself little notes too on things that I would have done differently or how could I have done this better, and it just sits in my head moving forward for the next one.
And
you
you're
know?
even hearing that now a year later of what you
Mhm.
could have done different?
Yeah, that's why I kind of have to be like, okay, it's done. Like in order, otherwise I'll pick it apart and like want to retrack things or redo things or add things, but you never want to add too much when you're in the studio. You know, at some point you got to be like, I'm happy with this. We need to just move on, and we need to put it out.
Are there any songs on State Champ self-titled that you didn't love as much at first, but now it's really grown onto you?
Yes, actually, the last song on the self-title is called "Golden Years," and I thought it was just a little bleh.
Did the other guys want it on
Yeah,
the
the other
album?
guys really liked it. I just didn't know if it was right. It's a little bit of a different sounding song. I kind of compare it to like almost like a Yellow Card style song, and it was just a little more like rock and not as much like cool State Champs. But now I listen to it and I'm like, I'm glad we took a chance on something different that was maybe outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And just I had to own it in that time and be like, okay, if we're gonna do this, I need to like completely invest myself in it. And I did. And I'm happy that I did do that and open myself up to being like, it's okay to not love everything you do, but invest yourself in it and give it all you got, you know?
Who would be a dream producer for you to work with?
Okay, there's a combo of two producers that I've been wanting to work with that I have in the past on certain collaborations, but not on a full State Champs album, and that's Andrew Goldstein and Zach Cervini.
Yes.
Those two together, I think, would make a really good State Champs album.
I just saw Zach's name on an album somewhere, and I was really
What was it?
surprised.
Well, we were just talking about Limp Bizkit.
Oh, he's on Limp Bizkit.
He does Limp
That's
Bizkit.
what it is.
Yeah.
I was looking at the composers,
Yeah.
and his name was on there.
Yeah.
So he did that entire song?
Yeah, I think he
'Cause he was the
produced.
only
I
one.
think he produced and mixed it. Yeah,
With-
and he did the last full album too of theirs.
Of Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like produced and mixed it all. And I think he's just the best of the best. But he also does a lot of like he does All Time Low, you know, he does he has his hands in plenty of baskets in the modern day rock and roll scene. And
Is he in LA?
yeah, he's here in LA. The only time I did work with him, well, he worked for John Feldman when we did Living Proof, that third album. But he was just like the studio engineer before he really made a huge name for himself. And then
How cool.
and then we worked with him and Goldstein for the first time when we did our collaboration with Simple Plan, the song called Where I Belong. And that was when I was like, oh man, these guys are pros. I want to get in here with the state champs full band and do an album. But they're so busy. I'm like, guys, carve out some time for the champs. All right, let's go.
I was driving in my friend's neighborhood, and who do I see walking? None other than Andrew Goldstein.
No way.
So I pull over. I go, I love Friday Night Boys.
Hey, Friday Night Boys. There you
Thanks,
are. I mean, he's been around so long and has made such a name for himself as a songwriter, doing so much stuff with like Black Bear specifically and all the hits that he's produced. Super, super cool. I'm really proud of him.
Is his studio in LA? Yeah, right?
I think he works at plenty of different studios, and he has his own space here in LA too. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. What a hero.
So cool, man.
How come Story So Far never does interviews? Is that just a personal thing?
How come the Story So Far doesn't do interviews? They don't care. Like,
they
just don't care, and they don't want to. They are the only band that I think has gotten away with not doing press, and like it's
Their last
fine.
interview was like 14 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, finally, I think Parker opened up and did some like very personal interviews for their last album. He did like GQ and Rolling Stone.
Oh, he
and
did?
And those are the only two interviews he's ever done, and they're
Written,
very. No, I'm not quite sure.
It was a video?
No, not video. I think it was probably in person or a phone call that turned into a print piece.
Right.
But I never read other people's interviews, but I think it was so exclusive. Like, and no one had heard a peep out of him forever, and been through a lot of shit. And I was very proud of him for being as vulnerable as he was, and it was like cool. I think for everybody to kind of get a first look finally after 15 years into it, and it made the state of their band a little bit more special, I think.
You like their live album?
Yeah, I do. I like it. And it's funny, they've been attaching it to like all the clips and stuff they've been putting on Instagram. And I'm like, damn, this is cool. It made me go back and listen to them like on my speakers at my house the other day and listen to like All This Time and a bunch of the other hits on their most recent album in the live setting. It's cool. Especially with hearing the crowd sing it too throughout the whole thing is fucking awesome.
I never liked Big Blind up until the live one.
Yeah.
And then it really got me into it.
It's funny how that can work too. You hear a live version, or if you see it live, like that's another thing. If I'm so like, I consider our live show to be more important than listening to the record. I'm like, if that's my opinion, why wouldn't I want to do a live album? You know? It's almost like oxymoron.
What would you do? 20 songs? In the perfect world.
Perfect world.
Agreed to doing it. And
Yeah,
is it a whole medley of the entire catalog?
Yeah, I think it would be a mixture of everything, and it would be kind of greatest hits, if you will.
Uh-huh.
Probably 20 songs, best of the best.
Don't wait for the 20-year anniversary.
No.
Give it to us sooner.
That would be too long. Well, I don't know. We'll see.
No, give it to us sooner.
Because then we'd have to wait 4 more years, yeah.
I talked to Aaron Gillespie about the Almost.
Yeah.
And my only regret was that I didn't push for a little reunion
Well,
of the Almost.
I saw the clip. He said he doesn't want to do it anymore.
So many people wanted it.
And it goes to your eyes, and you're like...
So I feel like it's my due diligence on behalf of the people to at least push for it.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks for implanting that, and I'm sure other people will thank you too.
Okay. You mentioned earlier that your contract was up with your record label.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have ideas of what you want to do now going forward?
Yeah, I think it's just like we're talking internally right now between the 4 of us as a band first, before we even go back to management, to our now label, to be like, because going back to being intentional, right? And like, what's our purpose and what do we really want to achieve next? It's a big decision whether or not and I know there's going to be meetings that people want to take. And we're going to take every opportunity and every meeting with people as far as what our options are out there.
As far as outside labels?
Yeah, as far as other labels go, we'll sit down with our label that we're with right now. It's whether or not we want to chase a bigger dream of something like a big radio hit and go major label.
Is that something you want?
Maybe. I don't know. I just don't know what's realistic and what's not with our world right now. And I think nothing's impossible, but it's whether or not we want to like shoot for the stars and take a risk there, or if we want to just maybe kind of see what the best opportunity to do, you know, the next best version of what we have ourselves, and see what other resources are at our expense by meeting certain people that we haven't sat down with already. So it's an exciting / scary / nerve-wracking time to see what's next for us, but ultimately I'm excited to see what happens. We got to sit down first.
I'm huge on talking to my peers. I talk to people from Facebook, from Instagram, other podcasters, other YouTubers. Do you reach out to other people that are your size, bigger, smaller, just to get other perspectives, people who've been down that path?
I make a mental list, I think, every time of like who has gone through a similar situation and who do I think could shed some light. And there are. And I think... do
you just call them?
Yeah, or text or DM or whatever. One will probably end up being John from the Main. I will
Oh,
sit
yeah.
down with John from the Main. I'll sit down with potentially Jeremy from A Day to Remember. And
Yeah, because they went through a lot.
they've been through legal issues too. So I don't know. I don't want that to like scare me. But that's a whole different story. So, but everybody
John
that
would be so good.
John would be good because I think they've been through the like all different sides of that. They've tried the major thing, they've tried independent labels, and they've tried self-releasing. So I think I'd love to pick his brain about like what worked, what do you wish went different, what was a bad choice, what was a never again. You know, I've never actually asked him those questions, so it would be interesting.
Because they're also working on their next one too.
Yeah, and I don't even know if they're with a label or not. So I just want to check in and be like, "How's my friend?"
I think their last one, didn't they partner with somebody?
I think so. So
But they still had their own distribution or
something like that. That's what I mean. All those deals get very like particular and everything's different. So I just want to know. I just want to make sure that I'm in good hands. Essentially,
Do you have any songs in the pipeline that you think would be a good pop radio hit?
There's ideas out there. There's stuff that was maybe left on the table from the last album or 2 albums ago that were like, yeah, if we were going that route, this would be perfect. But it wasn't ready for the time being. So who knows? Maybe we jump back and like pick apart from those like the vault of demos that we have, which we do. We have a lot of like vault songs that like may never get heard by anybody. And then there's ones that maybe we just need to reflesh out. So that's I get excited thinking about it.
I'm thinking a Ryan Key collab.
Yeah,
Jeremy
who knows,
McKinnon,
man?
Maybe some Parker Cannon on the
Yeah,
new album.
I mean, who knows? You never
This'll be
know.
hot.
Yeah, man. Maybe a lot more collaborations in the future. That's for sure.
Cool. Well, wherever you guys go, I'm sure it's gonna be the best decision you guys do.
Thanks, Joe.
Cool. Thanks for coming by. This has been awesome.
Yeah, it's been great to be back, man.
Go see the new tour.
Yeah, man. We'll be back. We'll probably be in your city soon. So please come out and see us.
Is there a name of the tour or what is it?
No, there's no name for the tour. It's just small rooms across the East Coast down to Warped Tour. If you're in the area of Orlando, Warped Tour, we'll see you then. But then we'll always be back, and keep an eye out for those anniversary shows for Around the World and Back next year.
Cool. See you guys. That was
Peace.
so good. Thank you.